I hear Doc Maynard flying in. He had to go see to a rich socialite down in Napa who drank a little too much Chardonnay. You know, if you drink 3 bottles of Chardonnay, you know, in an afternoon, 3 bottles of Chardonnay, that, I know it's Chardonnay, but that's still hard drinking. Howdy, folks. I'm Big Ed Barnum from Big Ed Barnum's Bobble Barn and Garden. Cole, Screaming Eagle Wilson, is out on the Oregon coast. He's too good. He's too good for you all. Just doesn't want to be there. Hey, that one black guy, how are you? Thanks for joining. Hi, Amy Adams. I see you sneaking around over there. Oh, yeah. Got to spin that ham. I think I need to adjust the frame a tiny bit to get maximum ham out of there. You got to get your ham spinning, and you got to make sure that you're not cutting it off from the top of the frame. Just because you know, when the company that's not actually sponsoring you decides to swing by the stream and say, "Hey, this is that guy that wants us to sponsor him," they're like, "Oh, but hey, he's got the product chopped off in the top part of the frame." Top part of the frame. I'm drinking water this week. Last week I was drinking whiskey. If you remember last week, I was drinking whiskey that was 135.2 proof. And I was kind of jacked up on that stuff. You know, alcohol's a depressant. But when it comes in that high of a proof, it's kind of like jet fuel. Thanks for joining. I got to do a couple of things over here. Hey, J-Man, how's it going? Tonight we're going to do something that we've never done before on this stream. Well, I'm going to do something that I've never done before on this stream. I don't know if you've ever heard anyone do this on a stream before, but we've tried to share a couple of sneak peeks into the new stage show that we're producing. When we're going to produce it, I don't know. I decided for once in my life, I'm going to actually write a show that's not on the calendar yet, so that I don't have to work my ass off towards a deadline and then put up a show and be angry the whole time so that I can't enjoy myself when I'm on stage. Not that that's ever happened. The proof is in the pudding. For some reason, I was thinking of an old porn tagline. I don't remember the name of the porn, but the tagline was, "The doctor is in, the nurse." I feel awful for saying that. But tonight, the way I'm going to share something that I've written is that I'm going to let Final Draft, which is the application that I use for most of my script writing. There's a utility within Final Draft where you can assign parts to various robotic speech profiles, and you can have your speech read to you in glorious robotic text. And I have to say, I was giving it a preview. The tool is very flaky, and I think I have it configured correctly. It's the kind of tool that you want to tweak. One voice assigned to one character. My sleeve's unbuttoned. How unprofessional. You want to make an adjustment to one of the voices assigned to one of the parts, and it's, I don't know if it resets every time, and you have to, I don't know. But one of the reasons I'm late is I was farting around with that, trying to get that squared away. And I think I have it squared away for the one segment that I'm going to share. Which here's the interesting thing. I think what I'm going to share is a funny sketch. Hearing it in robotic text to speech, the funny parts really aren't funny. But what is funny are just some of the robotic pitter-patter of robots going back and forth. So I'm going to do that in a minute. Couple things. Today, I got the email from Microsoft saying, welcome to Mixer's partner, whatever they call it. Mixer's opening up, monetization for everybody that streams on Mixer, so that everybody can go for the big cash grab. And I think they're rolling it out to everybody by, pretty much end of the month. So I don't know if I got it today along with everybody else or whether I'm a little early. But it's some interesting reading. And there's a disparagement clause where you're not allowed to speak ill of the platform if you are one of the monetized partners. And partner is a loaded word there because there's Mixer partners and then it's pretty uninteresting reading, except the disparagement clause, which I found kind of interesting. Now, I don't think I'm disparaging them when I say this, but I think unless streaming is your full-time job and you stand to make a substantial amount of money, there's no reason to sign that agreement. And a couple of things, because basically what they're doing is they're saying, hey, we will give you a little bit of money for subscriptions that you sell, for Embers, the fake currency that you get, fake currency, but it has an actual monetary value, in exchange for us running ads on your stream. And earlier this week, hey, Thor20, how you doing? Earlier this week, my Mixer Pro subscription ended, and I decided not to renew it just because I wanted to hop around various streams and see the ads that are... we're talking about... I got the email today to become a Mixer... I can't remember what they're calling it. Monetized partner. And I was just doing some reading. But earlier this week, my Mixer Pro... everybody on Facebook right now is just like, when's he going to shut the fuck up about this? About 3 minutes. So I let Mixer Pro expire so that I could, when I'm tooling around and looking at different streams, I could see the ads. And I have to say... So there's two things. One, unless you stand to make a lot of money by having... 500 people watching you, I don't think it's worth it to do it. And you really have no control over the ads that are going to be placed on your stream. You also don't have any way of controlling, do you see it when folks first come to the stream? Are they going to roll ads in the middle of your stream after people have been watching for 30 minutes or 5? Are they 10-second ads? Are they 30-second ads? Are you getting a cut of just that revenue? It's pretty vague in how the monetization actually benefits you, other than you get 50% off the subs, which has always been fairly wide known. And then as a Mixer streamer, from what I can tell, because it's very vague, the advertising platform is literally described as the advertising platform. So there's no documentation that you can go look to see, because what I was interested in was, if I'm a streamer, do I know when ads are being served? Are they being served to everyone at the same time? Is it piecemeal? Because my interest was, if I know my stream's going to be interrupted for 30 seconds for Mixer to play an ad, and they can give me a 5-second heads up that that's going to happen, I can toss to the ad. I can even have fun with it. Whether I see the ad or not, I know that folks on Mixer are getting an ad for 30 seconds. And then I can, do, for the folks on Facebook, I can say, folks on Facebook, while those people on Mixer are seeing an ad right now, you're getting unfiltered me. I can do anything I want in this 30 seconds, and nobody on Mixer is going to know about it. But it doesn't work like that. I have a feeling it's just piecemeal. They're going to serve them up whenever they want to serve them up, and you have no signal as to when it's happening, and no control. And to me, you know, if this was my job, if I was making a living this way, I mean, it certainly makes sense to jump in and make use of that. But I don't want to sign an agreement for something that, I don't know. I just, I don't see any point in it. Thor, I know you've been interested in it for a while. I'd be curious to see your take on it. So that's happening. And I think that's all I'm going to... Oh, I am going to say this. So I have spent the week hopping around streams just to see the ads, and I've been actually tallying the ads that I've seen and doing a little testing. It is possible that you will go to a streamer's channel, you will be served a 30-second ad. If you hit refresh immediately after the ad, you will see the same 30-second ad. And when it's over, if you refresh again, you will see the same ad. To me, if I'm an advertiser paying money for that, that's something that I think I would have a problem with. Someone being able to just, I have no interest in that ad, but someone can just game the impressions that are being done. I've been wondering what to do as well. Thor, I would say wait. I see the longer. Earl Cotton Bailey, you're not watching an ad right now. The longer I talk about this, the more people are slowly going on the stream. So I'm wondering if maybe I should just talk about it. So the ads. I will say this. There's an ad for Tempur-Pedic mattresses that's going on right now. And what I've learned from that ad is that generally Tempur-Pedic posture whatever mattresses are overpriced by $900 just by general principle. Because that's all you have to do is fart in a chair and you're going to get that $900 off. You don't even need the ad. The ad's not tied to anything. I have know what to do. I want to accept just so people have a way to give me embers. However, I haven't read into it yet. Hey, Chef. Hey, thanks for the follow, Weepy Glitter. So I saw that ad a couple times. I saw a couple for Gears 5, and there was another one that I saw for another game. There's one that is for the Foster School of Business, and I went online to try and find a video version of this ad that I could play, and I can't find it. So it seems to be an ad running exclusively on Mixer. But it's a guy, athletic guy, great-looking guy. God damn, he's so cute. He's so muscular. He must be a military guy. Oh, this guy's a streamer. No. It's Foster School of Business just trying to cater to macho streamers about joining their School of Business. You love Fortnite just as much as you like Sigma 6ing your way out of a firefight. It is a dumb joke there. It's a dumb Six Sigma joke there. I apologize. And I saw each of these ads 2 to 3 times. An ad that I saw 12 times was for nosocializedmedicine.org. And it's one of those ads where Nancy Pelosi once had sex with a dog. This is the night that I get banned. Nancy Pelosi once had sex with a dog in front of an entire village of children on a Sunday after Sunday. Anyway, but I think it goes to show that if you're trying to sell a product, your ad impressions are probably going to be pretty low. But if you're buying ads for hot button political issues, you're going to get a lot of impressions. And that's the one that I did the, I respect your research and explaining it. Thor, it's not research, and I'm half-assing the explanation. Well, now we're getting... yes. Nancy Pelosi having sex with a dog in front of a village of children, Earl Cotton Bailey says, well, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting to the meat of tonight's stream. No, we're not. We're getting to the dog meat. And that's your... I wonder... I don't know. A monster comes to the village and says, I must defile one of the dogs in the village. Serve me up a dog. This is awful. I apologize. This is why I shouldn't talk... I think when do I get to the disclaimer? You know, the funny thing is, the first item in the user agreement is the disparagement clause, where you can't... I'm pretty sure I haven't said anything about Mixer being bad. I'm just saying, presently, it's not for me, and it's not something that I'm not gonna do it. Let's see. When do you get the disclaimer? I think I signed the papers and didn't even know they're going to run ads now. I may be effed up. I'm pretty sure you can probably end the agreement, but if you have it in place and you end it, getting back in may not be too easy. And the thing for me was the spinning ham's making a clicking noise. You know it's a good ham when it clicks. When it clicks back at you. This ham's delicious. It clicked back at me. I'm not drunk this week. I wasn't drunk last week. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. So that's Mixer ads. This is the worst commercial. This is the worst commercial ever. Did Nancy Pelosi defile the family dog in front of the entire village? Just go to nodogdefilement.org and lodge your complaint. All right. I don't know how long I'm streaming tonight. Cole's at the coast. How long were the ads? Most of them are about 30 seconds. And most of them seem to be pre-roll, where you hop on the stream and the first thing you get is the ad. And then what I didn't see... if I hopped on a channel and I saw an ad and I stayed on it for 30 minutes or so, I didn't see any other ads coming up. Unlike Twitch, where I know on RiffTrax, if you're not a subscriber on RiffTrax, you will get, I think, a minute of ads for every 4 minutes of the stream that you watch, which pretty much makes it unwatchable. And it's always the same ad as well. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to jump through some of the latest script for Barnum Truck Stop, which was I just randomly babbling about it, or did somebody ask me when is the next show going up? The answer, either way, I believe we're having the live table read in front of an audience, which will also be streamed. I think we're doing that in January. We were going to do it as part of the Fertile Ground Festival, but the Fertile Ground Festival just to have a staged reading, whether it's a directed staged reading or a lightly table read, for lack of a better word. It's about $195 just to have a show in. Whether it's a fully produced show or whether it's a workshop, stage reading, whatever, it's about $195 to bring something into that festival. It's a bargain if you have a fully produced show and you're trying to sell tickets, because that $195 gets you in a printed catalog. There's a lot of free marketing and advertising. You'll get, depending on what your show's doing, you might get on a couple of the radio stations. I would say for that $195, it's probably $2,000 worth of marketing and advertising that you're getting out of that, which it's worth it if you're doing a fully produced show and trying to get paid butts into seats and that kind of stuff. But if all you're doing is bringing a show that you are planning to produce and you're doing a staged reading, it's just not worth it. The only thing that made me jump on it right away was the promise of a subscription button coming. I don't disagree, Thor. I think the question, though, is how many multiples of $2.50 do you think you'll get, do you think you'll need to make it worth it? And I'm sure everybody has a number of what that would be. But I don't want it. I think we're gonna do the one in, I swear, 2 minutes. We're gonna do the first one. Final draft. Here, I'll just share it. Let me make sure. I don't need that. So let's see if I can do a little picture-in-picture here. Let's do the other order. There we go. So this is final draft. Adjective Beaver the other night, not the other night, probably a couple weeks ago, was asking me about script writing software, and I gave him 3 titles. I should probably review them because I have them all. Final Draft is, of course, the most expensive. But once you buy it, the updates are pretty cheap, and they're only they only come out every 2-3 years. I'll do that some other time because we're going to talk about this show. This show, I need to, I can't show the title page because there's some information on there that I don't really want to get out. But this show is Barnum Truck Stop. It might be titled Barnum Family Truck Stop. I don't quite know what the name of the show will be just yet. But the show is, it's a live stage show. It's sort of half variety show, half theatrical kind of a thing. There are performances that are direct audience, and it's obvious that, hey, I'm a musician and I'm playing this thing, or I'm a comedian and I'm doing this thing. And then there are theatrical bits inside it. It's cheaper if you have a connection at a university and get the educator discount. I think, I believe it might be 50% off. I'm not sure. So this show is sort of an homage to truck stop movies and truck stop culture. It has stand-up, it has sketch, it has music, it has an original song written by yours truly. It has something that I'm doing is I'm taking, I have 3 in the hopper, but it's taking a lot of time to do this. 3-minute versions of a few movies where you get the whole movie in 3 minutes. Can be quite comical, can be quite horrific, depending on the movie. Can we play a drinking game? I'm thinking Pussy Full of Ice Cream should be a full beer. If you've not heard the phrase Pussy Full of Ice Cream on any of our streams in the last month, you must have been asleep. And that's the second sketch that I might play the read-through on, but I think that's the one where all the voices might be screwed up. So, this show is an homage to road trips when you were a kid and you stopped at a truck stop or a travel center. And if you grew up in the 90s and the aughts, this may not resonate with you too much, but if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, you know, truck stops frequently might be the only restaurant off the exit of the highway. There might not be a restaurant in town. So it's an homage to cross-country family road trips, long-haul truck drivers, truck stop culture, truck driving movies, CB radio, all that kind of fun stuff. So it's that. And this first thing that I'm going to play, and we've not done this before, so I don't know how this is going to work, other than the tests worked. Another thing that happens in every show that I've written, and this was not something that I planned when I first started writing sketch comedy 11 years ago. Every show that I've ever written and produced has an audition sketch, which is a totally hack thing that people do when they first start writing sketch comedy. It's like, oh, I've got all these characters that only have like one or two funny things to say. Let's have them audition for something. So it started as that, and then it evolved, I would like to think, into something else. And now it's just sort of a recurring bit in any show that I do has a audition scene in it. And actually, if you listened to the, hey, Kent Zone Star, if you listened to, and I think only a few people did this, we had a read-through of a TV pilot that I wrote. This is back in May. We didn't stream it, but folks on Discord listened to it. It's a fantasy thing. And yes, there's an audition scene in what is essentially... It's essentially theater in the world of Game of Thrones, and there's an audition scene in it. All right, so this is, I think this is ready to go. I'm going to move this here. I think this will auto-follow along. If not, I will scroll. I'm just going to do that. This is not running into the soundboard. Hopefully this will sound okay. Usually when we do this on the fly, it just works. So the title of this sketch is Top Shots Talent Agency. And we're going to see what it sounds like when robots read it. Maybe.
Straight to the entree.
Yep. The thing that is annoying about this is it seems to not want to honor where the cursor is.
Tony, tell me a...
All right. Let's do this.
Story.
All right. Gonna close this. You would think for $249 full retail that the folks at Final Cut would fine-tune this tool, especially when it's a selling point for their thing. Tools, speech control. Let's see what happens now.
Top Shots Talent Agency. Cole enters with some kind of dramatic flair. He carries a clipboard. Announcing to audience.
3 weeks ago.
He marches to a side of the stage and makes an announcement to folks off stage.
All right, folks. Thanks for coming in to call Screaming Eagle Wilson's Top Shots. I'm gonna call you in one by one. When you enter, slate yourself like a professional with your name, the part you're auditioning for, your representation status, and the piece you'll be doing.
Cole walks to a chair behind a table. He reads a name off the clipboard.
Okay, auditioner 1, come on in.
Nobody responds or enters.
Auditioner 1, you got your ears on?
Nobody responds or enters. Cole looks at the clipboard.
Ah, Tony.
Tony enters. She wears a wedding dress and carries a small travel bag. She has a script in her hand. She stands a few feet in front of Cole.
Hey, my name's Tony, auditioning for the part of Auditioner 1. I am currently unimpressed.
Tony looks at the script.
Unrepresented, sorry, and the piece I'll be doing.
Tony, we're gonna skip the monologue and go straight to the entree. Tony, tell me a story.
Entree.
Tony thinks for a second.
I knew a guy that could lay in the bathtub, face up, take a pee, and hit the ceiling with his stream of pee.
Awkward pause.
That's it?
That's it. It ain't a long story, but it's an epic.
Tony, I want to thank you for coming in.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Tony leaves. Cole looks at the clipboard.
Tony.
Tony enters, same way as before. Wedding dress, small bag, and script.
Hey, my name's Tony, auditioning for the part of Corn, Provisor. I am currently unrepresented, and the piece I'll be doing.
Tony, you look familiar.
I get that a lot.
Tony, we're gonna skip the monologue, and I want you to show me what you got when it comes to being on your toes with a little wordplay. Tony, hit me with a hot dog.
Evel Neville.
Tony, hit me with a hot dog.
Spuds McKenzie.
Tony, hit me with a hot dog.
Airwolf.
Cole makes a sour face.
Sorry, Airbud, golden receiver.
Cole makes a sour face.
Tony, I was looking for Airbud. 7th inning fetch.
I froze up.
Tony, I want to thank you for coming in.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Tony leaves. Cole looks at the clipboard.
Tony,
Tony enters, same way as before. Wedding dress, small bag, and script.
Hey, my name's Tony, auditioning for the part of Barnum Truck Stop Ensemble player. I am currently unrepresented, and the piece I'll be doing.
Tony, you look awful damn familiar.
I get that all the damn time.
Is your mother a Laotian hairdresser?
Not anymore.
Beat.
Not Laotian anymore?
Not a hairdresser anymore.
Beat.
And I'll be doing a piece from Smokey and the Bandit, the part of Kerry.
Put that hammer down, and give it hell, Carrie.
In an explosion of energy, Tony grabs a chair, slams it next to Cole, pretends to open a car door, sits, closes the car door.
Does this thing move?
Cole doesn't get it for a second.
Drive.
Cole pretends to drive. Tony grabs her bag, opens it.
I was in Texas dancing in an industrial show for Sunkist Oranges. They say I'm the new
Tony Carey pulls jeans and a t-shirt out of her bag.
Anita Bryant, but I'm really a dancer from New York. A lot of credits, moderate talent, anyway.
She takes her wedding shoes off and tosses them out the window.
After opening night, I was walking back to the motor lodge and suddenly,
She changes clothes under her wedding dress. She uses Cole's lap to set things or prompts him to hold things as she needs.
there he was, a tall Texan with a 29-inch waist, pure dynamite. Look, I'm a 28-year-old hoofer who spends most of her time with theater folk. Besides, I'm impulsive. It runs in the family. We're all crazy. Anyway, today was the big day. But as I was walking down the aisle, I realized this is total insanity. What am I going to do in Texas the rest of my life?
She removes the wedding dress and tosses it out the window. She takes some casual shoes out of her bag.
I can't marry Jerry Jeff. I mean, we're eventually gonna have to talk. So,
She puts on her casual shoes.
halfway down the aisle, I turned and split. You think I'm nuts, right?
She looks at Cole. Cole has been so into driving that it takes him a second to tune back into her. Cole puts the car in gear.
Carrie,
Tony,
Tony, I think you're in the show.
They both open their car doors and get out of the car.
that's great. Is there a dance number?
I'm not sure we're calling it that.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Cole walks Tony out, but Cole stops just off stage. Tony exits. Cole looks at his clipboard. To somebody off stage.
Auditioner 2. Now which gene are you?
Cole exits.
All right. That was audition sketch. Hopefully that wasn't too painful. I think the here I'll go through. I think the funniest exchange for the robots, and I don't know if this played, is Tony hit me with a hot dog. Evil Knievel was how the robot pronounced it. Tony hit me with a hot dog, Evil Knievel. Tony hit me with a hot dog, Spuds McKenzie. Tony hit me with a hot dog, Airwolf. Sorry, Airbud, golden receiver. Tony, I was looking for Airbud, 7th inning fetch. I'm sorry, I froze up. Anyway, so that's a little bit of robotic voice theater. So I'm going to scroll down to something else. I'm going to take this offline for a second. I don't know if the voices are assigned properly. And I don't know. I'm just going through this to make sure there's nothing. We're 18 plus, I'm pretty sure. I've been talking like it's 18 plus. Tony assaults a lot of people, probably. Yes. Do I want to... Hey, rhythm is spelled wrong in my script. I'll make that correction. Hey, still did it. I hear my wife talking. She's probably like, "No, he's out there in the shed." She's talking to somebody. You probably almost heard me say the word garage instead of shed. I don't care. I don't care if you know what's behind the goddamn curtain. I don't care if you know that I'm actually just a sack of 360 pounds of puppies that just look like some dumb fuck with a hat on. Anyway. I'm trying to figure out if I can play the... I think as an experiment, I think I'd rather have a few people in the shed to read through a sketch than have the robot voices do it. Someone's in my home with my wife. And we're not expecting company that I'm aware. I am going to do this. Hang on. I will be right back. Oh, that's streaming soon. I'll just be right back. Hot damn. Folks, got a case of Dyna Wipes. Folks, do you need to do a lot of wiping? Get Dyna Wipes. Hi, Candy Veins. Thanks for the host. We're opening up a case of Dyna Wipes. So I said I heard my wife talking to someone in our home, and it was my brother-in-law who works down at a warehouse. Now, he didn't steal these. These are Dyna Wipes they were going to throw out because apparently they've dried out. And if you're like me, you like a dry wipe just as much as you like a wet wipe. I wish Cole were here for this. I've never wiped a Dyna, but I have washed a Barbara, says Earl Cotton Bailey. Dear God, now this stream is getting interesting. I agree. I was so bored with Final Cut. Oh my Lord. It looks like a tub. Each one looks like a tub of potato salad. Folks, I love the word tub. Dyna Wipes, 120 pre-moistened cleaning towels. So, I was out to dinner last night. My in-laws are going to Italy. It's a cruise. I'm not sure that counts as going to Italy. It doesn't in my book. But so we had sort of like a little family dinner. And my brother-in-law says, hey, do you want some Dyna wipes? And I said, who doesn't? And he was like, they might be dried out. And I was like, I already dropped the dry wipe joke. I like how Candy Veins comes in and drops a... did she drop a host? She may have canceled it already. Drops a host, and we're talking about dry wipes and wet wipes. They make the world go round. This is a punch for punching holes. I'm gonna... All right. Press to open. There we go. Always pays to read. Now, of course... they smell delicious. What is this scent? Doesn't say. It does contain vitamin E and aloe. So while you're getting the coal tar off of your... coal tar kind of sounds like a fantasy hero. All right, press. All right. I don't know. I'm trying to break something. All right, here we go. They might be dry. Ooh, they're a little dry, I think. Let's punch one through the hole thing. I got my finger stuck. Literally, I have my finger stuck in the fucking thing. That was not a bit. Not yet. They have like a... I don't know what that smell is. But I'm wondering, they are pretty dry. Finally, we've gotten to the commercial. Wet Dyna wipes. Not to be confused with Anita wipes. That's just a play on Earl Cotton Bailey's joke. I do have some water over here. Now, folks, I'm not signing the mixer agreement for advertising because they wouldn't let me do this, probably. Lady Wani, it might be a butt wipe to you, but to me, it's a beard cleanser. It's a moisturizer. Yeah. It sure is something. Should probably spray away from the computers and whatnot. A little distilled water, you're good. I'm pretty sure distilled water does not conduct electricity, as demonstrated by my physics teacher in high school. But part of me, the cynical skeptic in me was like, yeah, but was that some sort of trick he was doing? But I think distilled water won't conduct electricity, but as soon as you drop some salt in it, boom, you got a circuit. It's a whore's bath. I used the phrase whore's bath at a wedding a few weeks ago, and nobody knew what I was talking about. And then, as it happens, when you mention something and no one knows what you're talking about, people are like, well, tell us what it is. So I told them what it is, and then they took offense to it. I don't know if they took offense to the phrase or the fact that I said I was going to go take a whore's bath at the reception. I don't know why they were offended, honestly. Lady Wani, obscure sugar. I like the phrase obscure sugar. Pits and parts. Pits and parts. I've also heard bits and tips. Earl Cotton Bailey. Maybe they don't like history. I'm trying, and I wasn't disgusting or crude. Well, I mean, I did say I'm going to go take a horse bath. So I guess that statement doesn't apply. But I wasn't crude or disgusting when they asked for an explanation of it, I said, it's usually when you just wash your privates because they're dirty, or in the context of a horse bath, you're between customers. We've had the most viewers that we have tonight. So apparently I need to be talking about Dyna wipes, horse baths, and Gene Tracy's Pussy Full of Ice Cream, which I'm tired of saying it. And that's the whole point of that sketch, is that the cast of the show gets tired of saying that phrase. Muffin Stuff. I think Muffin Stuff is a hat shop down on the corner here. Let's see. I'm going to go take a look at... oh, boy. I see that Big Ed leaves the side of the stage. This is... Big Ed Barnum would not say this in a show. Gene Tracy would say that in a show. All right, I'm going to see what voice I've got here for this guy. And assign voices.
Hello, this is Old Man.
That does not sound good. So I need one. The problem is there's too many voices that need to be voiced in this bit. Boy.
Hello, this is Boy 1.
That does not sound like a boy. Boy 1. Here, I'm going to share this. Just to sort of show how much of a pain in the butt it is. So I have Big Ed, Cole Wilson, there's the narrator, there's Gene Tracy. Try not to linger on Gene Tracy's text too much. So I'm going to see what happens when we do this.
Lights up on Cole.
Cole, Screaming Eagle, Wilson's Hot Shots Talent Agency. How can I help you? Hey Cole, Big Ed here. Hey Big Ed, and win.
All right, so everyone's got the same voice assignment for the moment. So I'm going to see if I can pull this off here. All right. Big Ed Barnum, I will be Man 2, I think. No, I'll leave Cole at Man 2. I will be Old Man.
Hello, this is Old Man.
Boy 2.
Hello, this is Boy 2.
It's the same. What about Old Woman?
Hello, this is Old Woman.
Yeah. All right. Boy 2. I'm going to give him... What's Diego sound like?
This is Diego.
Not quite what I'm looking for. Thomas.
Hello, this is Thomas.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Fred.
Hello, this is Fred.
How does Fred sound with a high?
Hello, this is Fred.
All right, I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make that Big Ed Barnum. Boy 2 is Big Ed Barnum, and then Cole, I think, is Man 1.
Hello, this is Man 1.
And then I think my narrator is Man 2.
Hello, this is Man 2.
And now I need Gene Tracy. Genetracy, not Jen. Anyway. What do you got for us, Gene Tracy?
Hello, this is Woman 2.
Thanks. How about Woman 1?
Hello, this is Woman 1.
All right, I'm going to make Gene Tracy, even though it's supposed to be a guy, a French woman. All right. It's possible that still did not work, but we're going to read through this. I'm sorry, the robots are going to read through it.
Gene Tracy, a wild time tonight. A stool and a mic on a stand are brought to the stage.
And now we come to one of the crown jewel moments in our show tonight. It's my pleasure to bring back to the stage the internationally known young man, former trucker himself. Let's make him feel real welcome. Gene Tracy.
Gene Tracy, a high-mileage Jackie Gleason type, enters to some brash club music. Taking the mic.
Well, hello, yeah, we're gonna have a WIILTIIIM tonight.
Why.
Drummer beats a light trotting rhythm that underscores Gene's entire set. That rhythm can be heard at this link.
This is,
https://www.youtube.com/watch?NCWHNDLZQTM.
Thanks.
You'll hear about this truck driver dropped off his trailer, done for the night. He rolls into a bar. He grabs a seat. He orders a beer. He's sitting at the bar and asks the bartender, "Who are you voting for this upcoming election?" And the bartender replies, "There is one subject we will not discuss in this bar, and that's politics." The truck driver sips his beer, finishes it, orders another. A few minutes later, he asks the bartender, "Which church do you belong to in this town?" The bartender replies, "There is one subject we will not discuss in this bar, and that's religion." The truck driver sips his beer, finishes it, orders another. A few minutes later, he asks the bartender, "Let me ask you, do you allow patrons to discuss the subject of sex in this bar?" The bartender replies, "Well, yes, the subject of sex is open for discussion." The truck driver stands and says to the bartender, "Well, you go fuck yourself."
The drummer switches to a double-time rhythm to underscore the punchline, then resumes the slower pace. Lights down on Gene Tracy. Lights up on Big Ed making a phone call on a rotary phone. Big Ed listens as the phone rings. Someone picks up. Lights up on Cole.
Cole, Screaming Eagle Wilson's Hot Shots Talent Agency. How can I help you?
Hey Cole, Big Ed here.
Hey, Big Ed, ain't we in the middle of a show right now?
Well, that's the reason I'm calling. I gotta tell you, this fella on stage right now ain't exactly fitting the bill for what we talked about for family entertainment.
That ain't no fella. That's Gene Tracy, funniest clean comic working the truck stop circuit today. She's a gem.
Gene Tracy is a female comic?
Yes, indeed.
Hang on, let me call you back.
Call me back.
Lights down on Big Ed and Cole. Lights up on Gene Tracy bent over with his butt to the audience pretending to spread his cheeks.
"The coffee's fine, Doc, but you forgot the cream and sugar."
The drummer switches to a double-time rhythm to underscore the punchline, then resumes the slower pace.
I am so
Big Ed
sorry.
appears at the edge of the stage. Gene Tracy turns to face the audience.
"You hear about this truck driver approaching Beulah, North Dakota, that sees through his windshield, out in the distance, a young man wrestling a coyote. As he gets closer and drives by, he sees they ain't wrestling, but this young fella is fucking this coyote, having a grand old time." Truck driver shakes his head and drives on down the road.
Big Ed leaves the side of the stage.
He pulls into a truck stop in Beulah, walks in to get his breakfast, and sees this old man in a corner booth, jacking off, just going to town on himself. The sheriff walks in, sits at a table across from the truck driver, and the truck driver asks the sheriff, "What kind of town is this exactly where a man in a family restaurant just sits in a corner jacking off?" The sheriff replies, "You don't expect a man that old to catch a coyote, do ya?"
The drummer switches to a double-time rhythm to underscore the punchline, then resumes the slower pace. Lights down on Gene Tracy. Lights up on Big Ed making a phone call on a rotary phone. Big Ed listens as the phone rings. Someone picks up. Lights up on Cole.
Cole, Screaming Eagle Wilson's Hot Shots Talent Agency. How can I help you?
Hey Cole, Big Ed here.
Hey, Big Ed, ain't we still in the middle of a show right now?
Well, that's the reason I'm calling. I checked and that's definitely not the funniest clean comic working the drug stop circuit today. He's no gem either.
It is a
Hang on,
heat.
let me check the talent roster in my think meet.
Cole puts his feet up and thinks really hard for 15 seconds. He puts his feet down.
Ed, I found the problem. I sent Eugene Tracy GENETRCY when I should have sent Eugene Tracy JENTRCEY. It happens sometimes with this filing system I have.
Oh, well, no problem. Can you send over Gene Tracy JENTRCEY?
Let me put you on hold.
Put me on hold.
Cole puts the phone down. picks up another rotary phone, and dials it. Cole listens as the phone rings. Someone picks up. Lights up on Gene Tracy.
Gene Tracy here. Gentrcey. How can I help you? Hey, Gene, it's Cole, Screaming Eagle.
All right, it's the
Wilson here
same
from
voice, but
Top
we're
Shots
going with
Agency. Hi, Cole. Listen, it's happened again. I booked Gene Tracy Gentrcy by accident instead of you for Big Ed Barnham's family truck stop. Oh dear. You need a new filing system. I certainly do. Listen, I was hoping, if you're not busy, if I could book you for tonight's show. The one currently in progress. Certainly, I can be there in about 3 minutes. That would be amazing. Oh, but just to ask, I'm just curious, has Gene Tracy Gentrcy told his joke Pussy Full of Ice Cream yet? Pussy Full of Ice Cream? Yes, Pussy Full of Ice Cream. I don't know. Let me put you on hold. Put me on hold.
Cole puts the phone down, picks up the other phone.
Ed,
Cole.
has Gene Tracy Gentrcy told his joke Pussy Full of Ice Cream yet?
Pussy full of ice cream?
Yes, Pussy Full of Ice Cream.
Let me put you on hold.
Put me on hold.
Big Ed gets up, goes into the audience, and asks a member of the audience if Gene Tracy Gentrcy has told his joke Pussy Full of Ice Cream. This takes as much time as it needs. Big Ed returns to the phone, and picks it up.
Cole.
Ed,
Gene Tracy Gentrcy has not told Pussy full of ice cream yet.
no, Pussy Full of Ice Cream?
No, Pussy full of ice cream.
Let me put you on hold.
Put me on hold.
Cole puts his phone with Ed down. Picks up his phone for Gene.
Gene, Cole, Gene Tracy Gentrcy has not told Pussy Full of Ice Cream yet. No, Pussy Full of Ice Cream? No, Pussy Full of Ice Cream. Good. I might just make it before the audience walks out of the show then. On my way. On your way.
Gene hangs up her phone. Lights down on Gene. Cole hangs up his phone for Gene. Lights down on Cole. Big Ed is still on hold. The trotting rhythm from Gene Tracy's set grows in volume. The lights slowly come up on Gene Tracy. Lights up on Gene Tracy in the middle of another.
He said,
Joke.
Daddy, I had a grand old time. I got a duck for a fuck for a duck, and $20 for a fucked up duck.
The drummer switches to a double-time rhythm to underscore the punchline, then resumes the slower pace.
My wife.
The drummer switches to a double-time rhythm to
Yes, he
underscore.
does. Nobody's nobody was chatting during that. I guess I should go over to Mixer and see if I got banned. Doesn't look like it. Oh dear. So yeah, Chef. It's a little confusing there because the first Gene Tracy in the sketch is a guy, Jackie Gleason type. The voice I assigned to it was female just because the voice assignments here are quirky. And then when it flips to the other Gene Tracy, it is a female Gene Tracy, which was read by a man's voice. So that's confusing, but that's just the voice stuff. And so all of that is set up for the actual joke that gets told. And then later in the show, Gene Tracy, the clean comic, comes on the show. And I can't wait to share all of this. I can't wait to do the staged reading, which will be live streamed. We have to find a space for that. We need about 10 people for that, probably. Skynet is getting better at comedy. When did Skynet go live? Skynet's live already, I think. I must have a sip of water. You know, the one thing about Dyna wipes is when they're actually moisturized, you could suck the moisture out of them if you were in the desert. Maybe. Pre-moistened. Removes grease, grime, tar, carpet stains, and more. It will not remove the stains on your soul. Let's see. I'm liking the Marvin the Martian impression. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, that bit. Let me see if there's anything else I can share. or anything that would actually make any kind of sense in robot form. Not that any of that made sense. That doesn't work unless you actually have the thing going. So, just a spoiler, because you'll forget this by the time we do it. And it'll change anyway. Did they make a hole in the lid so you can use it as a toilet? The hole is in the bottom, so what you do is you poop in this end. And you know that you're done when you pull up the last Dyna wipe. And you're like, oh, someone's already wiped with this. And then you just toss it all. You know, I don't know how many out there are doomsday preppers, but usually the bucket that they give you that has some of your doomsday prep stuff, that's also your crapping bucket. And I didn't say camp toilet. I didn't say crapper. I said crapping bucket. CRAPPIN apostrophe bucket. Which reminds me, if you ever see a guy cutting a hole in a bucket, you should cross the street. I don't know why I just made that up. It's just stupid thing to say. So I don't know if Goldie's still on here, but I believe, and Oni-chan, I don't know. So there's someone on this stream who's been on it a couple times over the past month or so that I thought was one of the guys from Oni-chan, but I don't know who it is. And I don't want to call them out because I don't want to. If they wanted me to know, they could tell me. But Goldie, if you're still on here, I believe one of the guys from Oni-chan is coming down from Waco to have lunch with you soon. And I believe I can make myself available by phone if there's some stuff we want to chat about. But, you know, if you want to meet with him and, you know, make plans without me. My hair is, it's not out of control, but my hair ain't been washed in like a week and a half. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. Can you hear me when I talk this low? Can you hear me? Do you want to hear me? Do you want me to shut up? Okay, so I was making sure. Oh, so I was going to say, spoil it here. Crappin' bucket. Probably pairs well with Dyna wipes. So a little bit of a spoiler. The whole Gene Tracy thing. So he's just like a dirty truck stop comedian. It's awful. And those jokes are actually Gene Tracy jokes, so we are recreating that character. And he just, the jokes are awful. And then Gene Tracy, the Clean comic, comes on a little later in the show. And then she's doing a stand-up set, and she markets herself as the Clean comedian. And she does that by getting a suggestion from the audience for a band from the 80s. And whatever suggestion she gets, and this requires, we've done this a little bit of practice with a couple of folks telling these jokes. And the trick is they're doing some word substitution, which is easy until you're on stage, and there's word substitution with wordplay that has to happen at a certain rhythm. Everything that's actually a dirty word or a risque line in the jokes she's telling, she's substituting the 80s band name in those spots, in those jokes. The jokes are written in a way that they're actually worse jokes with any random 80s band in it, because it's really about the setup. Hey, your tech coach, thanks for the host. So those jokes, they're awful dirty jokes. You don't hear the foul language, and you don't hear the double entendre or whatever, or just the overt expressions for something. But she's doing word substitution to cover that, and it actually kind of makes the jokes kind of even dirtier. So that's a little bit of a spoiler, and that happens. It happens a third time as well. I myself. So the first Gene Tracy tells all those dirty jokes and then signs off with "That's my time" and I'm out of here, and he gets off on stage. And then a couple other things happen in the show, and then the other Gene Tracy comes on, markets herself as the clean comedian, but somehow isn't. Big Ed calls her out on it, and she tells him a couple of things. And then Big Ed, I myself, tell some stand-up jokes that are a little awful, but in a subversive kind of way. And that's the stand-up portion of the show. And that's peppered throughout the show. So, your tech coach, thanks for joining. We've been doing a little bit of final draft voice assignment theater. We have this script. Let me see here. I'll do. Here, I'll just play this. Let me make sure I still have this up. I have this feeling that every time you close the tool, it resets the voices. Big Ed. No, I'm still set as Boy 2. Oh, muted.
Boy 2.
All right, so we'll do this. All right. I'll just play some of this. Hang on. We'll start here. I don't think there's anything in here that will get me in trouble on Mixer. Where am I here? Speech control.
I'm not going to wash your mouth out with soap.
I'll do it.
Nobody's getting their mouths washed out.
If y'all can't take the squirty turds, you shouldn't say those dirty words.
I don't think that's a saying, but nobody's going to punish you for what you said.
Ah, horse shit.
Gene, the one thing I'd like to know is why does everybody think I'm an 80s band truck driver?
It might be the fucking hat. I'm Gene Tracy. That's my 80s band time.
Beat.
80s band Gene Tracy, everybody.
Big Ed applauds, rallies applause from the audience. Gene bows and exits. Big Ed Barnum, an odd time tonight. Big Ed looks at the microphone and stool. He stares at them for a long time. The drummer beats a light, trotting rhythm that underscores Gene's entire set.
No, that's a mistake.
Big Ed reluctantly approaches the mic. He thinks for far too long.
Airline food.
Big Ed isn't sure of his punchline.
United's chicken cordon bleu and stale dinner roll made the Hindenburg seem like a sensible dinner option.
Spelling error.
The drummer goes double time, then back to the slower pace. Big Ed eyes the audience, considers another joke.
I'm not a wine expert, but I do know that Paul Mason will sell no wine before its time, which at Plaid Country is 11 a.m.
The drummer goes double time, then back to the slower pace. Big Ed tempts fate with another joke.
I was traveling recently, and had reason to be reading the directions on a box of Imodium. The directions say, take 2 Imodium at the first sign of diarrhea. The instructions should say, take 2 Imodium at the first sign that says half-priced savage. I'll leave you with this.
Savage.
The drummer stops on this. The lights change to highlight a diner. The Umbilical Brothers. Billy Umbilical and Bobby Umbilical enter the truck stop. They're in jeans and flannel. They sit in a booth taking care to ensure that...
Yes, thank you. I'm not going to spoil the Umbilical Brothers. Because I'm not going to do it. So let's see. A little gross out, but it's been a decent day. Lady Wani, I can't remember where you are. Oh, I think I remember where you So yeah, I think I might call it at that. Cole's at the coast. I believe we're back here next week. Well, I'll be back here next week. And then we have some unfinished business with a lot of things. We have the Barnum box, which is that box that we were filling up with random things that we pulled out of the archive, and things like that, and some art that we've made ourselves and stuff. We have not given that box away yet. We need to award that. We need to, I believe, I'm just going to check the old analog date book here. I believe we've set the date for the Harry and David orgy. I believe it's the week before Thanksgiving. And it's possible I didn't write it down. No, I didn't. I'm sure I did. Something as important as the Harry and David orgy. Yes, Harry and David orgy. Thursday, the 21st. So 2 weeks from tonight, we will be having a ridiculously overpriced beef pot pie from Harry and David. And we'll also be having their Moose Knuckle Crunch. Sorry, Moose Munch is what it's called. So we'll be doing that. And then another thing, we've teased it far too long. And I'm sure Adjective Beaver's not on here tonight, but if Adjective Beaver was on here, I'm pretty sure that one black guy and Goldie and the bear are probably sick of me talking about how to comedy, perform, live the dream, which is I have a feeling it's going to be longer than an hour. It is an hour-long presentation on how to write, perform, and live life as a less than moderately successful comedian, aka the dream. I promise we'll do it very soon. So that is something that we have talked about, I think, since our 5-year anniversary stream back in June. I think that's when we announced that. I have the Umbilical Brothers down here. Let me close this. So those are some things that are coming up. And then have some conversations with some folks that are planning some other things with us. Thanks for those sparks, Crystal Wizard. Crystal Wizard, are you also John Michener, the novelist? I think you are. Thank you for joining. I'm just waiting for someone to tell me, oh yeah, that guy's dead. How could it be him? That guy's dead. So just to recap, this is my hand. So just to recap, next week I will be here. I'm pretty sure Cole's here next week. 2 weeks from tonight, the Harry and David orgy, which I should go back and pull some clips from last year's orgy, and put those up. Next week, 2 weeks, Harry and David orgy. I need to, so for the Barnum Truck Stop show, there are 3 things that I need to work on. As I said, there are 3 movies that we are cutting down to 3 minutes each. I will not spoil the titles. That's quite a bit of work. So that's in the show. That's something that we're going to do. I also need to talk with some actors about getting together for a staged reading. And then, if you've ever been to a staged reading or just a reading, you're in the audience sitting there watching it. And, frequently the actors are just sitting there at a table, reading the play. That's why they call it a table read. Or it's a staged reading, but it's only a staged reading because they're on a stage, but they're still sitting around reading it. Or standing up reading it, however. When I do a staged reading, I like to make it a show in as much as it can be a show without, investing a lot of time in rehearsal. I mean, you got to do it a little bit, but try and treat it as something that's not just a throwaway, just to hear this thing. So that what we're doing for that is it will be on a stage, and we will be live streaming it, and we have some content that is for both audiences at a time or two. We're hacking the audiences. We're going to hack the streaming audience, and we're going to hack the theater audience, and it's going to be so clever and edgy. I'm kidding. It'll be cool, but I'm thinking the aggregated chat stopped moving. I need to go over here. And do a little of this and that. So I think that's the end of the... and then How to Comedy. And I think that's all the stuff that's coming up. It's the end of the year. It's going to fly by. And I'm at that age where I'm tired of time flying by. And yeah. Way to end on a downer. Oh, having an existential crisis? Having an existential crisis? Wipe it away with a Dino Wipe. I'm Big Ed Barnum. Thank you very much.